if the most profound truths about our existence are not hidden in futuristic technologies, but buried deep in the sands of time? Imagine civilizations long gone, holding the keys to limitless energy, expanded consciousness, and perhaps even the secrets to extending life itself. Knowledge that has slipped through our fingers, erased by fire, lost to the oceans, or silenced by the march of history. For centuries, we've searched the stars for answers. Yet some of the most world-changing insights might have been right here on Earth all along, dismissed as myth, locked away in forgotten texts, or hidden within ancient structures whose purposes we still can't fully comprehend.
In this journey, we will uncover the story of humanity's greatest amnesia, exploring the treasures of wisdom we've lost, the whispers of the past that still call to us, the unimaginable changes their rediscovery could bring, and the dangerous questions of whether some knowledge should remain hidden. This is more than history. It's about the lost truths that could rewrite the very future of mankind. The Great Forgetting, our collective amnesia. In a time before borders, before the rise and fall of empires, humanity spoke in stories, shared not through books, but through memory. We gather around firelight not just to keep warm, but to pass on the essence of who we were. Then came the burning. The great library of Alexandria, said to house the knowledge of entire civilizations, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, reduced to ash in the span of a few nights. But Alexandria was not alone. In Nineveh, in Luanda, in Timbuktu, knowledge was hunted, erased, or simply abandoned. Entire systems of understanding were lost not just to fire, but to conquest, to religious purges, to colonial suppression, a sacred rhythm of memory broken. Now imagine a blueprint for clean energy written in ancient symbols, gone. A healing method that required no chemicals, just frequency, forgotten. And perhaps worst of all, knowledge was lost not by accident, but by design. Gatekeepers chose what should be remembered and what should not. This wasn't just a loss of data, it was a loss of identity, a collective amnesia that left us thinking we were starting from zero, when in truth, we might have already climbed this mountain before and fallen. What if we were never meant to forget? Whispers from the past, unearthing clues.
The past never truly disappears.
It waits, buried in sand, frozen in ice, etched into stone, quietly whispering to those willing to listen. At Göbekli Tepe, older than the pyramids by millennia, towering stones stand in silent formation, marked by symbols no one alive remembers how to read. In South America, ancient geoglyphs stretch across the earth, too vast to comprehend from the ground, traced perfectly long before humans were thought capable of flight. And then there are the anomalies, batteries encased in clay, precision-cut granite blocks, maps of Antarctica drawn before it was covered in ice. These fragments don't just challenge our timeline, they threaten to rewrite it entirely. Across every continent, echoes persist. A tomb with no body, a device with no clear purpose, a star chart aligned with impossible accuracy. They raise a single, haunting question. What did they know that we forgot? But perhaps the most powerful clues aren't in artifacts at all, but in patterns. Cultures separated by oceans built pyramids, honored the stars, and spoke of sky beings descending to Earth. These were not isolated myths. They were messages left like breadcrumbs, waiting for us to connect the dots. Maybe the past isn't just something behind us. Maybe it's a code we've yet to crack.
The power of rediscovery. What could change? Imagine if forgotten knowledge resurfaced, not in myths, but in usable, real-world forms. What if ancient medicine, long dismissed as primitive, held the secrets to curing chronic illnesses without side effects? What if sound, light, and frequency weren't just spiritual tools, but medical ones? Civilizations once harnessed energy from the earth, built structures aligned with the cosmos, and lived in balance with nature for thousands of years. They didn't exploit the planet, they listened to it. Now picture a world where we relearn that harmony, where architecture doesn't just shelter, but heals, where cities resonate with natural energy, and food isn't mass-produced, but grown with intention, soil, and soul. Rediscovery isn't just about looking back, it's about realigning forward. If we could understand what they knew, we might leapfrog over our own limitations. Clean energy, sustainable agriculture, holistic medicine, these aren't science fiction. They might be lost memories, waiting for us to remember. But with rediscovery comes responsibility. Not every ancient secret should be revived. Some knowledge can build, but some can control. The question is no longer, can we remember it? It's, are we ready for what remembering could change? The ethical quandary. Should we know everything? In a time when knowledge meant survival, ancient societies guarded their secrets with rituals and symbols. Some meant to protect, others meant to warn. From the hidden scrolls of the Essenes to the sealed vaults beneath the Great Pyramid, not all information was meant for every eye. But what if the knowledge they protected wasn't just sacred, it was dangerous? What if it could bend the will of others, alter consciousness, or manipulate the very nature of life itself? In Mesopotamia, clay tablets were buried, not lost. In Tibet, mantras encoded frequencies that could reshape the human mind. In Central America, temples weren't just built for worship, but as machines for resonance, designed to amplify something we no longer understand. The deeper we dig, the clearer it becomes. Some of what was hidden on purpose. Because knowledge in the wrong hands becomes power, and power without wisdom corrupts absolutely. In today's world, where AI can simulate gods and algorithms can rewrite truth, are we any more prepared than the ancients were to handle such responsibility? The deeper we dig, the clearer it becomes. Some of what was hidden on purpose. Because knowledge in the wrong hands becomes power. Imagine unearthing a technology that grants unlimited energy, but also the ability to destroy entire ecosystems. Or a method to control minds, not just heal them. The question isn't whether we can access this knowledge. We already are. The real question is, should we? Should everything be remembered? Should every gate be opened? Because once you lift the veil, you can't unsee what's behind it. And power, without wisdom, corrupts absolutely. In today's world, where AI can simulate gods and algorithms can rewrite truth, are we any more prepared than the ancients were to handle such responsibility? Humanity's next leap, embracing the unknown. What if the past isn't just behind us, but ahead of us, waiting to be reintegrated, reimagined, and reborn? For millennia, humanity looked up, into the stars, into the heavens, hoping to discover something new. But maybe our next great leap isn't up, it's inward, into the forgotten layers of our own memory, into the wisdom etched into earth,
into bone, into vibration.
Imagine a civilization not driven by fear or scarcity, but by insight reclaimed. A world where energy flows in harmony with nature, where healing returns to balance instead of suppression, and where knowledge is no longer hoarded, but shared. We are no longer at the mercy of forgetfulness. Today, we build tools to remember. AI that preserves endangered languages, quantum archives that store history at the atomic level, and decentralized knowledge shared across the globe in real time. The Great Forgetting was not the end. It was a reset. And now, at this precise moment in history, we face a choice: to repeat the cycle or to leap beyond it. Because what was once lost was never really gone. It was waiting for us to remember, to listen, to rise. We began this journey looking back into the silence, the ruins, the whispers. But now we look forward, not to escape the past, but to carry it with us as a guide. Because the future of humanity won't be built on what we know, but on what we choose to remember. This is not the end of the story. It's the return of one we forgot. This is the Narrator, and some stories are meant to be remembered.